Hello, world. On this session again, I want to be addressing the issue of loneliness, and it's kind of a complicated topic, but at the same time, it's not really so complicated at all. And I want to start off by saying that loneliness plays a key role in what people do, the stupid things that they do, that we ourselves in our right mind don't think that we would do, and other people thinking that if we or they were in our right minds, we wouldn't be doing either. And loneliness is one of those things that human existence should not have to live with. Uh, and that means that goes to say that we weren't meant to exist alone. Uh, but it's a sad thing that some people do live and die alone. Some people never find someone to be with. If they do, it's only temporary or instantaneous gratification, and it's nothing really that's long term companionship when they die or anything else, and it's quite sad. And just having that fear is crippling just in its own right, and it's usually what makes people do things, as I mentioned, what we don't think people of sound mind and health would normally or typically do, such as staying in abusive relationships. And the underlying premise of that is mainly to avoid being lonely, but of course, it might have something to do with they love the person, supposedly, or that they believe that they are able to change the person for the better. So somewhere along those lines, but if you get down to the root and heart of it, it's mainly loneliness, that they fear that if they give up what they got, they may not be able to find someone else who will accept them or be with them or love them. And even though as abusive as the current relationship is, they might feel that this is the best that they can get, or this is the only thing that they can get, and if they give this up, they're going to spend the rest of their lives being alone. So, loneliness breeds a lot of things, but at the same time, loneliness can also breed the fear of being with the wrong person. And what I mean by that is that a lot of people will jump the gun, jump and dive straight into a relationship or to a marriage, uh, to have a future or to have a companion in order to safeguard against loneliness in the future. And that is not necessarily always a good thing, because that fear of loneliness can breed so many things, such as infidelity, uh, going through and cheating on your spousal, and then supposedly hiding it from them because you fear that it's going to lead to a divorce, breakup, splitting of home assets, children, and sure, it's a mess in the whole 9 yard. But again, getting down to that, it's all right. You made a mistake, or it was intentional, or you continue to have your side flings, but it's not really addressed with your partner because you feel that maybe, well, if he divorced me or she divorced me now, how am I going to take care of myself, the kids, what's my future, and all this other stuff. So they don't want to be alone, and the husband, supposedly, or the wife, is nothing more than a safety net for a bad, corrupt, dying, falling out of love type of marriage, and that's wrong. Um, and at the same time, going back to that, loneliness also breeds the fear of not wanting to dive in and jump headfirst into a marriage or a relationship. That's also a case as well. Um, because I sort of have these sentiments also, and a friend of mine, we were going through and discussing this, and it was the case of she had a friend that was getting married, and all of the bad signs of it's a doomed marriage was there. And supposedly, in her eyes, she loved this person, but all the telltale signs from every outside third party eyes, and of course, I can only comment for from what information I've been given. But from there, it just seems like it was just a bad thing. And we were discussing, you know, how each of us, personally speaking, that you know, we're lonely too, but at the same time, we fear more supposedly of jumping in, diving in head first, and being with that person for supposedly the rest of our lives. Of course, there's the thing as divorce where you can get out of it, but it's so messy, so complicated. The legal headaches and complications, it's just insane. And even if it wasn't marriage, it's, the time and effort, possibly the abuse, the headache, just all the things of wasted effort if you go into the relationship and it's not the one meant for you. And time is just so precious itself that you really want to find that person that's meant for you, but at the same time, you're not sure how to go about to do that, and to not waste your time and to find that someone that's for you. And so it just kind of, it's, I don't want to say it's not really a catch 22, but at the same time, it's just one of those things that's complicated. And of course, girls aren't the only ones that are lonely, but of course, that's what's mostly advertised in the media, uh, in textbooks, in schools. Women are always the victim of loneliness and relationships. But at the same time, I feel that guys, perhaps equally or more so, are the victims of loneliness. Uh, if anything, short term. You got the short term relationships and intimacy before you go dive headfirst into marriage and the lifelong deal, and everything else. And guys, I feel that are already shortchanged on that end, and perhaps even more so when it comes down to that path. So, but it's fair to say that both guys and girls are are lonely. They don't want to be lonely. No one wants to live this life alone. No one certainly wants to die alone. So it's a very real issue that's plaguing our existence, regardless of what culture we're in. And that's why we have friends and family. But of course, more so in a deeper down searching and seeking, everyone is searching for his or her own personal love interests, that they can form a family and a bond and keep that procreation uh, theory and everything else alive. So that's just, where I'm trying to go with that. But that's to shed a bit more light on the issue of loneliness, and how it pretty much affects us, and the premise and the underground workings of that. And of course, my stuff is not the definitive stuff. It's just my own opinion, and my own views from how I've grown up and learned about this stuff and experienced life. So hopefully that was able to shed some light on that. Thanks.